Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Maddie, the creator of Nutritiously Easy. I'm a nutritionist and a full-time content creator. But I thought I would just kind of run you guys through a few days in my life again, or maybe just like a day or two of living a healthy life in the summer in New York City, because it is possible to live in a big city and still have a healthy life. Also with balance. It's something that I'm really always looking for, is like a balance element too. So yeah, I'll run you guys through it. So I'm actually making a juice. These are the ingredients. So I have green, like half a green apple, cucumbers, lemon. These are fresh mint leaves, which are so good for your skin, and then beets, which make an absolute mess, but it's okay. I used to be such a juicer girl, but honestly, I find, first of all, living in like a small New York City apartment, it's like so annoying to bring out my juicer and store a juicer. And I find that it's just so much easier to use a blender. So I use a blender, and I can kind of show you guys that process. And then I put it in this jar and just store the full juice in the jar for the week. It lasts like probably 3 to 4 days, depending on how much I drink a day. You can always add a little bit of water to it as well, but I'm gonna make that juice. Since we used a blender, now it's just one more step. We just need to use this strainer, and then we'll have an amazing looking juice. I would always advise to do this over your sink, because especially with the red, it really does make a mess. Also gonna make a little bit of a lunch situation. If you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, you know I'm obsessed with lettuce wraps right now. And I forgot that collard greens are in season, and these things are the best thing ever for lettuce wraps. So I'm gonna make one of these. I'm not like starving right now, so I think this will be perfect for my meal. And we're gonna make it high protein, veggie rich, with all the good ass condiments. After you wash your leaf, we kind of want to de-stem it a little bit, because see how like thick that is? We don't want to like bite down on that thickness. So I literally just take a knife and try to cut off some of that thickness of the stem. Okay, so see how that's like a lot thinner now of a, like especially right there. My two condiments of choice are pretty much always my chosen food mayo and this sriracha. If you've never tried the yellow bird sriracha, you need to freaking try it. This is what I'm gonna add in. My avocado is kind of gross, but then some purging cucumbers, thin slices of tomato, and then green onion. You guys, look. You can see this. Look how amazing this looks. It's literally one of my favorite lunches ever. I'm gonna enjoy this with the rest of my juice and get some work done. I actually hired a cleaning lady. Never had a cleaning lady before, but I feel like with the spring, my apartment just needs like a really good clean. Like, I probably won't do this often, but I just need that really good clean. So I have to leave my apartment while she works on it. So I decided I'm gonna go to a coffee shop, do a little bit of work, and then go to some heated yoga. Just got a decaf latte, and I'm on my way to yoga. It's Friday. What time is it? Friday at 1:30. My mom and I just recorded another podcast episode. If you don't listen to our podcast, you really should. My mom's been in the health and wellness industry for so many years, and like 20 plus years, and she just knows so much information, and it's been like such a great just like bonding experience, and all like so many people have listened and just said such amazing things. It's called Eat Your Vegetables if you haven't listened, but we just did a whole podcast episode on anxiety, my journey with anxiety, and like real life things that actually made me way less of an anxious person and not have anxiety or panic attacks anymore. It was a lot about my own experiences, my mom asking me questions because she personally doesn't deal with anxiety, but it was really good. The episode recording was like 45 minutes, so it's probably gonna be around like 38, 40 minutes. But it was good. We talked a lot about diet things that you can do to help with your anxiety. We talked a lot about alcohol and coffee and just all the things that make it so much worse. So if you're someone that struggles with anxiety, highly recommend to give that a listen. I've been just doing computer work all morning and then recorded that. Fridays, I typically like to do a lot of my computer stuff and just, you know, getting stuff kind of sorted for the week, even though I do work 1 or 2 days of the weekend. But I'm hungry now. It's 1:30, I wanna make lunch. So let's go make lunch. Also, New York City is like kind of confusing me right now because I feel like I always think of spring being really sunny and just, we already had a tease of it being really warm. And this energy outside, I wish I could show you guys, but I don't wanna show you where I live, is like gloomy and almost giving fall. I'm not so mad about it, but like it makes me wanna put like a sweatshirt on and like hibernate. But I have a lot of plans tonight. How much spinach I freaking use. It's almost like half a thing, but it's gonna like cook down so much. My friends over for a little pregame, so I'm gonna make healthy margs. I just get this Santa Cruz pure lemon, San Pellegrino sparkling, a bunch of limes. I have more limes over there even, and then I like to sweeten it with this organic stevia drops. It's so good, and usually I add mint, but unfortunately Whole Foods was out of it. Hair looks kind of insane because I just did it, and I want to put it back when I do my makeup. But I figured I would just do my makeup with you guys, or like a little bit of it at least, because I'm getting ready for my friends to come over. Starting with this primer, the drugstore primer that I actually am obsessed with. A while back, I don't know how I got on their PR list or what, but NYX sent me a humongous package, and it's really weird, this stuff, and there was one other product, oh, these. I've bought them since. It's like their contour, it's their Wonder Sticks. One side's contour and one side's highlighter. Obsessed with these two products. I'm usually like a Sephora girly, and I don't really buy much drugstore products. Those are worth the hype. I tend to just kind of stick with the stuff that I know. For a while I wasn't. I feel like for a while I like was going total consumerism mode, and like anything that someone said on TikTok was like great, I would run to the store and buy it. Like, I'm not kidding, like every weekend. Sometimes online, yes, I do find really good products, but I think also we have to remember that every single person online likes doing their makeup differently. Everyone has such different skin, everyone has such different needs, and like I started following these girls that there's nothing bad about it, but they started, like they were using a lot more makeup, like they were using a lot of powders and like foundations. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I've gone through stages in my life, I feel like in college and stuff, where I did my makeup more like that, or like if I'm going to like a special event or a wedding, like I do my makeup maybe more like that. But for like every day and even every night makeup, I really like just like a dewy look, and I like it looking like I'm not really wearing makeup. So I was buying all the products that they were recommending, and then I wasn't even really liking it, and I was like, why am I not loving all these products like them? And I'm like, probably because you like doing your makeup a lot different than them, so why are you, I don't know. I feel like makeup's an art, and it's really fun to figure out what type of makeup you like doing. Like for me, it's all about taking what you already have and making it look a little bit better. It's not about like fully making my face different. I'm all about learning techniques on the internet. I think that's really cool, and like I've been watching makeup tutorials since I was a kid. Like that's honestly where I started falling in love with YouTube, was in like 8th grade or like maybe freshman year or something. I loved watching all the makeup girls, and they taught me so much. I didn't have sisters. I thought it was like so cool to watch these girls do their makeup, and it's honestly how I feel like I learned how to do my makeup. So I think there's always like taking recommendations and making them your own is really important. And like if you want to figure out how to do makeup, to like play with that and have fun with it and watch videos, but don't take everything someone says and apply it to your face. One more like little rant that I feel like I learned a few months ago is just like, also through social media, I feel like we all have slowly become like the same. And I don't mean that like literally, but we're all using all the same products. We like to wear this, starting to wear all the same outfits. And I feel like we're all just on this earth to look different, to gravitate towards different clothes, gravitate towards different things. And I feel like I look my best and feel my best when I do things that like accentuate how I look, and I wear a style of clothing that makes me feel confident. And I just think beauty is all about individuality and just showing your individual features. So I don't mean to be too preachy today, but I feel like that's something that I've especially learned even more over the past year, because I was buying all these things from freaking TikTok, and then I started to realize, and I'm like, I like that all my friends dress differently, and I like that we do our makeup differently, and I like when you go out in the streets and you can get inspo from like real people and stuff. So that's the rant. Trying to finish my eye situation. I can't decide if I want to do mascara or not. Fun fact about me is I low-key hate mascara. I have a hard time getting it off my face the next day, and I literally feel like it stays on me for so long. And I always debate whether I should put it on or not. When I'm done with my makeup pretty much, I always go back in with a little bit of more contour. I don't know why. I like just like being really bronzy. And then I like to go in with one more little blush color. I love this tint because I really feel like it really does stay on you all night long. This is the final fit. I don't even know if you guys can see that, but I don't have a full length mirror right now. Good morning, guys. It's the next day. Well, it's actually the afternoon. Saturday afternoon, and I'm kind of having a lazy afternoon and I'm loving it. I just went on a long walk with some friends and I got decaf blue bottle coffee. It's my first time ever having this. It's good. It's really good. And on the way home, it's such a gorgeous day in New York. I stopped at Barnes & Noble. Did I need to get $3? Probably not. I'm excited to read this. Like I said, it's just one of those books that I've wanted to read for a really long time, and I just haven't got around to it. And then I got 2 nonfiction because I personally love reading nonfiction. It's like so good to me. It just puts me in a good mood. I love the storytelling behind it, and I really do like a beachy read, or I don't know, something just fun for summer. These 2 books have been recommended to me. A friend just recommended The Paper Palace. It's funny, on the way there, she was telling me to read this. It was like one of the first books I saw when I walked into Barnes & Noble. So I'm like, that's definitely a sign. But I'll probably start with this one. It's also one of Reese's book club books. Next one, I randomly just saw this on TikTok this week, and I was like, you know what? It sounds good. The girl was describing it. It's called The Summer of Broken Rules. The girl was describing this as like an older version of The Summer I Turned Pretty, which I've read The Summer I Turned Pretty books and I've watched the show and I like it. But being in my later 20s, sometimes I'm like, this is kind of weird that I'm like reading and watching about a high school, like a 17-year-old romance, which is like 10 years younger than me. So this one's supposed to be like my age, and that makes me feel better about that. If you guys ever want me to do like a full video on book recommendations, I would actually love that. Let me get my phone because I've actually read some really good ones this year. I'm back. Let me go to my books tab. I highly recommend to keep track of the books that you read, because I've gone through periods where I've read so many books and I don't keep track, and you like actually forget how many books, what types of books. So I do like a, can you see that? Yeah, a book 2023 list and I have my 2022 list, and I actually rank them on here too. So if like friends or family or someone's asking me for a book recommendation, or you guys, then I can literally be like, I rated this a 7.5 out of 10 and I remember the book more. But some of the better books that I've read this year would probably be, I haven't rated anything over an 8, which is kind of wild, but I really liked I Love Jason Thorne and I Hate Adam Connor. It's like a dual book. Like the second book is about the characters that are like not the main characters in the first. Those were cute. Again, they're kind of like rom-com-y beachy reads, but I really enjoyed those. I also really liked Carrie Soto Is Back. It's about tennis, and I actually, after that, there's 2 books that she talks about in that book, and I started reading those 2 books too. And then another good one that I've read, well, I've read a couple nonfiction too that have been really good this year, like Atomic Habits. I don't know how I hadn't read that till this year. I actually listened to that on audiobook, and I highly recommend listening to that on audiobook because it was kind of like a good podcast almost. And then I also read Attached, which is really, really interesting. I feel like I knew my attachment style going into that, but it just really tells you about how you act in a relationship, and it just made me like, not even just romantic relationships, but platonic relationships. It made me like really understand myself a little bit more, I feel like, and understand other people and where they're coming from too. So I definitely recommend. Let me look at my 2022 list. Okay, 2022, I had some good ones. I really enjoyed, like, I feel like these are kind of like TikTok-y books, but Things We Never Got Over was a 9 out of 10 for me. I thought that was so good. Love in Other Words was a really good one that I enjoyed. I also liked the Hook, Line, and Sinker series. I think it's actually It Happened One Summer series, and the second one's Hook, Line, and Sinker, I believe. Midnight Library is really cute. If you're like someone that feels like at all times you could be living so many different lives and you feel like almost indecisive about the life that you want to live, or you sometimes feel like you regret certain things and you could have lived a different life because of it, that book is nonfiction, but it shows, I mean, that book is fiction, but it has amazing like life lessons in it, and it really just shows that like how we're living our life is how it's meant to be, and we shouldn't wish a different life because it all just makes sense in the end. It's a really good book if you're like I said, overthinking stuff. You Can Heal Your Life is an amazing nonfiction I read last year. I actually listened to that on audiobook as well. I like doing some nonfictions on audiobook, and then I just listen to them repeatedly, like at the gym or on walks. And You Can Heal Your Life by, I think it's Louise Hay, is so, so good. I also loved Daisy Jones and the Six, which the show is unreal too. So if you haven't read that and watched the show, highly recommend. Reminders of Him is a Colleen Hoover book. And I think, actually that and November 9, I read both of those last year, and those are both Colleen Hoover books. And they might be my 2 favorite Colleen Hoover books now. I can do a whole book YouTube video because I read a lot of fiction and I read a lot of nonfiction as well. So yeah, it helps. Oh, I'm sweaty. Just went to the gym. I did my arm exercise. I switched up my workouts recently and I'm obsessed with my arm exercise right now. I'm gonna put it on my Instagram, I think, because I kind of meshed like 3 different TikTokers that I follow arm routines. Well, 2 TikTokers arm routines and then 1 TikToker's pelvic floor routine. And I feel like it's just making me feel really, really good in my workouts, like a good sweat, feeling toned. And then lately I've been trying to amp up my cardio because I don't know, I got in that whole like cardio raises cortisol and like all that stuff and wasn't doing cardio for a really long time. And lately I just feel like I'm like building muscle. This was a couple months ago. I felt like I was really building muscle, but I wasn't leaning out. And I feel like it's because I wasn't doing cardio. So the last like 12 minutes of my workout, it barely takes any time. I just do a minute sprint, a minute walk, a minute sprint, a minute walk, and I do that 5 times. And it literally gets me so sweaty and I feel so, so good doing that. Full workout took me 45 minutes and I alternate legs and arm days. I probably do that like weightlifting and cardio like 4 times a week. I'll do 2 arm, 2 leg, sometimes only 3 times a week, just depends on the week. And then I either throw in a Pilates class or a hot yoga class or both in there too, because I do love a class like that. It just puts me in such a good mood. So that's kind of my workout routine right now. I'm like running out of this True Botanicals oil. It's Sunday morning, by the way. Just had an acai bowl. It was freaking amazing. I get it from this place called Happy Bowls in New York. So good. My new gua sha, stainless steel. I used to be a jade girly, and the stainless steel is a freaking game changer. I had like 2 drinks last night. I met up with a friend and got like drinks and apps. And I feel like when I wake up after drinking, I just never look the same. And I'm like pretty good at not getting hungover anymore because I like know how much I can drink with feeling it the next day. And I really don't hate anything more in life than being hungover, so I really try not to. But I just feel like I can see when I drink in my body, especially my face. Like even, I'm so puffy, but even beyond the puffiness, like I just feel like I don't look like myself. And that's like honestly a reason I don't enjoy drinking anymore. I just like to feel confident in how I look. It's one of those things where you're drinking it in the moment, it makes you feel so confident, but then after you're drinking it, it makes you feel the least confident. And a big goal of mine this summer is to try to drink very minimally, but be the most social that I've been in a really long time. So I'm really trying to just build on non-alcohol related confidence. If you don't get dressing on your Chipotle, you're doing it very, very wrong. That's all I have to say about that. I just realized I forgot to sign off yesterday, but it's officially Monday now, so that's the end of the vlog. Please hit subscribe and subscribe to my channel. I'm really excited for all my summer content. I'm gonna be traveling a lot, going upstate to the lake, and just so much more. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll chat soon.